Hey, Felicia.
Hello, hello. Show Liz.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna. Good afternoon, Miss Barbara.
Hello.
Hello,
I'm so
hello.
excited for you.
Hey there. Good to see you again.
Hi, Barbara. How are you? You got me
I'm
thinking about
good.
that gerotonics.
Gyrotonic, not gerotonic.
Gyrotonics. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're right.
No, it is something. Don't say you're sorry. It is something that is so hard for people to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about it, you'll get a little bit of an idea of where it all came from.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm
Absolutely,
glad to be on
absolutely.
this morning. This
Indeed,
evening.
girl. All
Hello,
right, we're
Gelberd.
gonna give it a little bit of time, Miss Barbara. Okay.
That's fine.
Fix me.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
Felicia, are you here in Columbia?
I am in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, sounded like you were somewhere far away.
Oh, I did. I sound far away. Uh, yes, I am in Greensboro. How are you, Deidre? Hi, Lindsay.
I'm good. Hello.
Hey. Hey, you guys. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your presence, and I'm looking forward to introducing all of you. We're going to have a great wellness consortium this evening. So much information is going to be shared. And Nidra, I just muted you, so we won't be able to hear you right now. But it's going to be an information-packed, wonderful, educational, uplifting event for everyone here. So I'm thanking you guys again for being here. Not only thanking you for what you're gonna, I'm not just excited about what you're gonna get out of it, but out of what all of your presence brings to this meeting this evening. And that is what a wellness workshop is all about for me. So you guys know that some of you know that I ran a massage therapy business for 10 years from 2003 to 2013. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I quickly found that some of the physical toll it took on my body, it caught up with me pretty severely. And I personally got really excited about what Miss Barbara does because I was thinking about how it would help me. So as we get more into the detail of her workshop, you guys will know more and more why I got really excited about Miss Barbara and we started talking and I said, oh my goodness, well let me tell you about what I do, and I'm really excited to work with you and help you get some exposure with my business relationship community because that's what I do. So I just got really, hey Deb. So I got really excited about that. We talked some. She invited me to her studio, and she said you should just come and have what do you call it, Miss Barbara, demonstration?
A demonstration. You gotta feel it. This is something you talk about, but to really get it, you gotta feel it in your body.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So I just got really excited about Miss Barbara, and we made fast friends. And I was just like, this is just like one. Y'all, I probably say this about all of y'all, but I really, truly, just wholeheartedly mean it when I say you're one of my favorite people. I really, really, really mean that. I really do. And that's not just because that's what I have to say to do what I'm doing, but I get really excited about people who are excited about what they do. You know, um, Not everyone has that passion about what they do. You guys know what I mean? Not everybody does. So for a lot of people, they just do what they do. Even as entrepreneurs, you guys might be really surprised to see how many people aren't just absolutely in love with what they do. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. And it takes a little bit of the heart out of me. So when I meet people like Miss Barbara, I go, man, how can I help you be more successful with your business? Let me tell you what I do. You tell me what you do. I want to learn as much about you as possible. And that's how we end up doing what we're doing tonight.
There you
So
go.
I just want to say 100% welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you guys. Y'all know I love all of you deeply in different ways and for different reasons, but all you guys are so awesome. I fully anticipate that we'll have probably another 4 or 5 people joining us. But, as we talked about before, Ms. Barbara, and I'm glad that we share this view, it's not always about the quantity as it is about the quality. And, one thing that I love about my elders, and I consider you guys my elders, not like in an old, like crippled kind of way, but it's a respect and honor thing. I really appreciate that you guys lend some of your experience, your expertise to me, because when it enters my ear, it doesn't just go out the other side. When Phoebe will tell you, Felicia's my first cousin, and she'll tell you that when we were kids, when she would, in her young teenage or young adult life, when she was stopped by grandma's, on the rare occasion I would be there, I would be sitting right up under grandma's hip. I was a city girl, didn't know anything about snapping peas and all this gardens in the side of the yard. And I was like, they really growing food out here. This is crazy. Like, you don't have to go to the store and you feeding all these kids? Grandma. So that type of thing really excites me. So I appreciate you guys, and it's with a profound level of respect that I say thank you for all you do and all you bring to my life. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with introductions. The time is now 6:38. Y'all know I'm really working to be time conscious. Thank you all again for joining us again. I'm going to kind of sort of try to do it in order. And Ms. Barbara, we'll have you go last just so that we have the benefit of anyone else new coming on.
Yeah.
We'll learn a little bit about them, and then we'll have more people on when you get into what you do. Okay?
That's good.
Yes, ma'am. I learned a little something over the years of doing this, but I wasn't always aware of how impactful each step is. So one of the things I really focus on is being strategic about who I invite to these types of consortiums. Yours is a wellness consortium, I call it, Miss Barbara. And, I like that word, for a few reasons. I understand about human nature. When we use words that aren't used on an everyday basis, it makes the ear kind of perk up a little bit. Consortium? What is a wellness consortium? So when we do these events, I look forward to people hearing something they've never heard before. So I want to start out with my first favorite cousin, Miss Felicia Nemo. I would love for you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Felicia Nemo. I am the founder and CEO of Yes to Your Purpose. I'm a platform designed to help each and every individual realize and live out their best purpose. I believe that God has planted an individual seed in each one of us designed to do something special here on earth. And unfortunately, many of us don't get to realize that because we spend our lives working at businesses for 25, 30 years, making other people's businesses and their dreams grow, but never realizing or actualizing our own dreams. So I do that through a variety of means. One of the ways in which I do that is through a blog, which is on www.yestoyourpurpose.com. I also have recently started a podcast called Hi Felicia. And I've also started doing a lot of different things and trying to partner with different people and helping things that I feel that are important to myself and to those at large become publicized and be out there. I have also partnered with Deb, and we're now doing sendoutcards.com. So I've actually been competing with Sand. We're making sure we get our cards out to people and really getting them to start to ask questions. What is this whole card business? How did you get that card? I love these brownies. Where did they come from? And just getting them to realize that there's something out there that can help other people and businesses stay connected to one another. So that is kind of a nutshell of what I do. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you want, San, I don't know if you want us to, I'll include some information over here in the chat.
You couldn't ask for it to be done much better than that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So
You're
next I want to have Miss Deidre introduce herself. Deidre is one of my newest soul sisters and connections in this awesome universe that we're in. And I'm really excited that she was able to join us today, Miss Barbara. You'll understand why when she introduces herself. So I am unmuting you, Miss Deidre. It's not working. Hold on. It still didn't work. Y'all be patient with me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this computer.
Maybe Lindsay can get her unmuted. She may have to unmute it from her side.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
How about now? This is good.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Deirdre Napoleon. Of a couple of different things, starting out learning through my sisters, building my business. Recently launched a website for maskout.com. I am an original owner of DNAP Expression. Where I'm getting
Camera.
Yeah.
We can still hear you. We just don't see you. There you are.
DNAP Expressions, where I make body lotions, bath salts, different things, naturally teas, drinks, and things of that nature. I also am a promoter where I promote my husband's artwork and my daughter's photography and painting. So I do a lot of promoting of my family's business as well. So that's pretty much me for right now.
All right. Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. So, Miss Barbara, I met Deidre through my cousin Felicia. And we were talking, I'm gonna mute you again real briefly, okay? We were talking briefly about, I don't know what's going on with my little mute and unmute stuff today. Okay. So, Miss Barbara, I'll tell you about Deidre first, and then I'll backtrack to Felicia. So I thought that Deidre would be a great person for attendance in your consortium today because she is already working with people who are health conscious, who are thinking, okay, how can I be the best version of myself I can be? And because she has promoted her family members' businesses as well. So I consider her among, some of the brightest minds that I'm connected to as far as being able to put themselves in the shoes of other business owners and say, well, who is your target audience? Who do you need to connect with? And while I understand you don't need a huge clientele because you just want to enjoy yourself and what you do, I think she would be an excellent source just of ideas. You know how we had our little brainstorm session and we were thinking about how to, target your clients. So that's what I had in mind when I thought of inviting Deidre. So thank you again, Deidre. And her husband, Lindsay, is an awesome artist. You got to see his work. It's amazing. You might want to have some in your studio. So that's one of the things I always think about is how everyone can give and what they'll be able to receive from the connections that I put together. So thank you again, Deidre, and you too, Lindsay, because I know you're back there listening as well. Thank you for your presence. Hey, buddy. All right. And Felicia, I had in mind also that Felicia and I work together really closely, and I'll be putting some people in touch with her for her podcast to help her generate some new content and things like that. So I know, just like I'm sure most of you know, that if I say, listen, Miss Barbara is an awesome person, I can see a real connection there, let me put you in touch. The same thing would happen with Felicia. The same thing would happen with Deidre. So it's all about that circle, and everything stems from a deep level of respect that we have for each other professionally, because I don't deal with people who are, as I call them, raggedy business people. I don't deal with them. I don't like them. I think that they create a stain on the industry of entrepreneurs. So know that if you're a part of my circle, I consider you especially committed to what you do. So thank you for all you do, and we're all excited about helping you grow your business. So I want to introduce, as y'all already know, I'm gonna say the fairy godmother of networking, Miss Deb Mullen. I think you guys had already met before. Had you guys?
We had. We talked. We've never really sat down. I think maybe we ran into each other once at an NIA meeting, but we talked on the phone. Actually, I wanted to learn more about what Deb was doing, so we didn't talk a lot about what I was doing, just kind of briefly. But good to see you, and I'm really excited to have you learn a little bit more about what I do, just because of the people you interact with, and also maybe for yourself. You know, you never know.
Well, I'm very familiar with you because we actually have met, and I was going to talk a little bit about that. We actually sat next to one another at Daniel's reception for Adina when she first came back.
Oh,
after the
that's
wedding.
right.
And I'm very familiar with what you do through Daniel as well. And I was thinking as we were sitting here that it's kind of nice that the people have moved to this format of talking about what they do, because, one of the challenges I always had was getting over to your studio and checking out your studio, because, when I added it, I'm not Cassandra. I couldn't get in my car and do 15 appointments in one afternoon like she does, on my best day. So if I got one appointment in, it was like, yay team. And I was back home. And that's not because I'm old. That's because I'm wise, and that's my choice. I don't want to be out there anymore. I don't want to do that. So being able to meet with people and meet new people in this genre, and I get to see your exercise equipment in the background, and I'm thinking, wow, you probably should be doing little 1 to 2 minute, videos every single day and posting on Facebook and just focusing on, small little snippets of technique. It's a great opportunity for you because it looks really good, so at any rate, that's my little input into what you do, and I know it's very valuable for everyone, not just old people like me. Yep. I knew when I said old today, I was going to be in trouble. Not that old. At any rate, I don't think there's anybody new here that I haven't met, and I certainly don't have to talk about cards because everybody else is talking about them. So I guess I'm just going to recap what you all mentioned on the call this afternoon, is that it's about relationships. If you don't have relationships, you've got nothing. And, San, you talked about the quality of relationships that you allow to come to the table. And that's true of all of us, as I've met us all individually. We are very relationship oriented, and we are very, we care very deeply about how those relationships are built. So I'm very grateful for that, because, I'm in a relationship business, so it doesn't hurt my business any that, I fell into this group of relationship-oriented people. And if they weren't before they met me and you two ladies, we sure know that they will be after, right? So anyway, that's it's Barbara's night, so I'm going to say thank you very much for allowing me to introduce, and I'm looking forward to the presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I don't have to tell you, Miss Barbara, why I wanted Deb on, right? So absolutely. I'm just, what's that? I'm sorry.
I just said absolutely. No, I get it.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So it is 6:50, but since we've worked our way through the introductions, we'll go ahead and get started a little bit earlier. We had talked about starting at 7 o'clock with, your presentation, but since we run a little ahead of schedule because, we've got the people that we need here, not the people that I invited, not always the same thing, right? So again, y'all know I'm all about quality over quantity, but I did invite a good bit of people that I think would be awesome, and some of them may still join us. So we will go ahead and get started on your presentation part. So Yes. Please go ahead, Ms. Barbara. Would you like me to show your website while you do your introduction?
Sure, that would be great. I didn't know you were going to do that, but that would be perfect.
Okay.
So,
I like to. Sometimes I have ideas at the last minute. I'm like, oh, I know what I could do.
okay. Well, I don't know if you will they be able to see me while you do that, or will I just be voice?
No, they
okay,
won't.
that's fine. I'll just be voice.
We can leave it with you, and they can go to the website later. They can go to the website later.
Well, and just a question: did you get the video clips? Are you going to be able to show the video clips? So,
yes,
Deb, to your we just did some video clips. Just a little. We can't. Gyrotonic method is a very specific, very controlled method with a lot of training behind it, and everything is copyrighted and trademarked. So I can't do anything more than a 45-second clip. So that's what I'm limited to. And Cassandra's going to show some of those. But so let me give you a little bit of background about the method and about me and how I got there, how I'm here. First of all, I'm just kind of an ordinary person who spent most of my life in the healthcare world. Have about a 40-year history in healthcare. And I've been a provider as well as an executive. I started I was a psychotherapist, clinical social worker, practiced for 10 years, and got interested in the business side of medicine, went back and got a business degree. And really my purpose, and it kind of goes across everything that I've done, is really about helping people and helping people to be healthy. And from the mental health side of things, I always was about early intervention, prevention, those kinds of things. And I really got into the healthcare business on the business side to try and build organizations that delivered quality healthcare in a cost-effective way. That was kind of the thing that went through. Unfortunately, I got to watch from the ground where we are today, which many of us fought against where we are today, but here we are today. So that's another story. But I found Gyrotonic accidentally. I was 60 years old. I was a road warrior, healthcare executive. I traveled up to 70% of the time. I did that for about 10 years. My body was a wreck. I was totally out of line. I had a frozen shoulder. I walked into the studio, which I found accidentally from a Groupon that my husband bought for me because he was tired of hearing me whining about how bad I felt every morning when I got out of bed. I was 45 pounds heavier than I am today, not because I did a whole lot of dieting, but just the process of getting your mind and your body connected. For me, I don't know if it works for everybody, but for me, it was just, I was so much more aware of my body that I kind of look into, the really fattening stuff, and I go, yeah, I think I can live without that. And plus the metabolism boost that this way of exercising gives you. Again, for me, just kind of helped that whole process. So here I am. I came to Columbia 18 years ago. I worked remotely for two different, one a corporation, and I also worked for a government contracting agency. That's where all my travel came from. And but I've been retired now for a little over 2 years. So I now actually live here in Columbia. So this has been, the last 2+ years for me have been all about trying to make connections, build relationships. And my reason for doing these kinds of things is, yes, I want to build my clientele, but more importantly, I want to spread the word about Gyrotonic. The more people that know about it, just in the course of just discussions, the more you might go, oh, I know somebody who could use this. Or just when you go to the gym or whatever other way you exercise, learning to think about how you use your body differently. That education piece is really part of my mission. The only reason that Gyrotonic is here in Columbia is because my teacher and mentor, who's now back in New York, former Martha Graham dancer, came to Columbia as to teach at USC and started a studio here, the studio that I stumbled into. She always said, Barbara stumbled in and she never left. So.
It seems to me like that's how the best connections for purpose happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole thing has been serendipity. I had no intention of teaching when I was, until kind of getting close to the end of my working time. I had no intention of having a studio, but just things evolved and doors opened, and I either walked through them or I lost the opportunity. So here I am today, 71 years old, in better shape, in better health than I've ever been, actually. And so delighted to be here. Thank you all for being willing to listen to me and learn about things. So that's kind of the overview. Where do you want to go from here, Cassandra?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you said you traveled all over the country and you ended up here, and just how you kind of stumbled into it, as you say. I just love that about, you guys know how I always say we were people before we were professionals.
Yep.
So Ms. Barbara was telling me about her business travels in the past and how she ended up falling into this. What did that transformation feel like when, because you say you didn't have a background in dance or movement or anything?
Well, how we got to Columbia was my husband had a business opportunity here. That's what brought us. We were in Chicago. That's what brought us here. I won't go into all the places I lived before I moved to Chicago and married my husband. But just let's say, I think I've lived and worked in something like 10 different states. So I'm a bit of a vagabond. I went to Furman. That's how I connected to South Carolina. And we just decided that we wanted to move back to South Carolina. I'd always come back and forth visiting friends, introduced my husband to South Carolina. And so again, serendipity, one thing developed. It was a good idea. So I could live anywhere given the work that I did. So we moved here 18 years ago for his opportunity.
Well, I'm glad that you did, because I'm looking forward to the progress that I'm going to make, coming into your studio. So speaking of progress, I want to go ahead and we'll kind of, segue into, what you said is the most, where you said there was an article, the most intelligent workout you never heard of. So if you like, we'll go ahead and move into talking about the actual technique and what it's like, and we'll get into your clips, and so we can really get into the meat of it.
Good. Well, the thing about gyrotonic that is totally unique from any other way of exercising, and I'm going to move around a little bit here and move back, but if you can see me from here, there are no 90-degree movements in gyrotonic. You don't raise your arm. You don't move like that. You don't. Nothing is like 90 degrees. And all your movements initiate from what's called in the gyro world your seed center. So it's this place at your lower abdomen. And so instead of going like this, you go like that. Everything is spiraling motions. I'll do quickly on the machines. Whoa, wait a second, where'd you go?
We can still see you.
Can you see me?
We can still see you. The screen makes like a sleeper thing where if you don't touch the keys or anything for a while, your screen will turn off, but we can still see you just fine.
Okay, well, let me just get back here so I can see myself, so I know where I am. There we go.
Okay, take your time.
I can see, but I know where I am. So just to illustrate, and you'll see one of my teachers in the clips. These are machines, they're called expansion machines because they support your body to be able to do things you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So expanding and getting room in your joints, using your body. This isn't a get muscles here, using your body to move, opening your lower back, opening your sternum, getting all of your joints get expansion. You get longer, you get stronger from the inside out. And the way gyrotonic looks and thinks about your body is different than other ways of exercising, which exercise one muscle at a time. Gyrotonic makes your muscles move in coordination with one another.
So they're designed to move instead of like a hinge and limited.
Well, and also things like people always say, so how is this different from yoga? How is this different from Pilates? The biggest difference from yoga is in yoga, there's elements of yoga in gyrotonic, but in yoga, you get into a posture and you hold it. But with gyrotonic, you may get into a similar posture, but you move through it. So you're getting extension, you're getting connectedness, makes you stronger. I have a client who's a tennis player, and she is very strong, but she has no awareness of her back body. So one of the things she's learning to do is be aware that instead of hitting the tennis ball like this with only her front body, she's connected back here. So she's able to have much more strength and movement to be able to use muscles back there that she didn't know exist. People, when I work with them, they go, oh, I never knew that I could feel that. And the difference from Pilates is a back and forth movement. So, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to get my core strong with Pilates. Well, what you do is you get your core strong, but your belly pops out. With gyrotonic, you're engaging your whole abdomen so that you don't do crunches. And it's hard to do without using the machine. You'll see when we do the clip, but you come up and over, so you strengthen all of your abdominals, not just the ones that hinge you. You don't ever hinge in gyrotonic.
Right. That's I can speak from the feeling of it. There's no hinge involved, and you go, okay, so I'm supposed to initiate all these muscles just to sit up, and then you feel the pressure come off of your tailbone, and you remember that you have, you know, muscles deeper than just, you know, just the traditional abdominal muscles that you think of. It's like you feel the layers in there. It's like, oh yeah, I do have like 3 layers of abdominal muscle back there. And that's a different angle. Like, when was the last time I moved that angle? You know, and it's not even really an angle, like you said, you flow through it. So it's, you know, anyway, y'all know I can babble. I experience how it feels. So I'm just like, y'all, you just got to experience this. So anyway.
Well, one thing that the whole COVID experience has done for me and my clients, because I couldn't bring people into the studio, I started working out with clients virtually, and just the method began with a thing called gyrokinesis, and you can kind of see these stools. The method, never mind, it began just using your own body weight on stools and mats. So I took those movements, and we didn't have the machines, but I was able to move people through the basic core spinal motions, and I used some weights and things like that. So, and what I learned in that process is even people who had been working on the machines, having to do it just using their own body weight, really advanced their practice. You know, the machines support you, but having to dig into your own body to find that. And so what I've started to do is do virtual demonstrations. So, and this might be a good one for you, Deb, so that you don't have to come into the studio to begin to get the feel of it. But I can do a demonstration virtually. And the other thing that came out of that, because I want to try and reach as many people as I can, this has been kind of a boutique, high-end way of exercising, because it's personal. I'm a personal trainer. that uses a very specialized method and uses specialized equipment. And that's out of reach of some people. What I'm trying to do now is I put together packages that are a combination of virtual and machine, so that it kind of cuts through the barriers of time and cost. So I'm really working hard. That's one of the things that's come out of all of this. But back to
for you about that. I'm excited for you about that, because then, you know, you're not restricted to, okay, who wants to travel downtown? You know, who is actually in the Columbia and surrounding area? Is it too far to come across Lake Murray?
Yeah.
Your perfect client might live in Lake Murray, but before now, it's like, okay, well, man, that's a long stretch. But now the entire world becomes your clientele.
Well, I think that there's a mix in there, because the machines really do help you. But, you know, maybe you come into town once a month and you do, you know, 3 sessions virtually or something like that. So there's different ways to go about it. One of the other things that I wanted to add, I kind of skipped over it, is how the method thinks about your body. Is it doesn't think about just your skeleton and bones and muscles. It treats your body as if it's a container of liquid. So that, and ergo the name, all of your movements start from here. So it's all about moving from your core in a very fluid kind of way. And the guy who developed it is still alive. He's about, I don't know, he's got to be about 77 at this point. He was a professional dancer, a yogi. He's just really kind of this out there on the edges thinking kind of guy. Has a brother who's a physical therapist. They live in Germany now, but this all kind of grew in an organic way. It wasn't like people sort of came at it scientifically and said, oh, we'll build this and build that. Physical therapy does that, and physical therapy is wonderful, but lots of physical therapists have become gyrotonic teachers because they want to add in this notion of motion, not just rehabbing single muscles. So I'll stop that, but I can talk on and on about this for forever. As Cassandra said, I'm really passionate about, because it changed my life. It really not only felt good, but it changed the way I move in the world. It changed the way I think about myself. And it changed the way I want to talk to the things I want to talk to people about. And when I was a therapist, I always said that I was doing my job when I made people cry at the end of the session. And that was gratifying. I liked being a therapist. But now I know I'm doing my job when people get to the end of the session and they just go, oh my God, I've just never felt anything. I've just never felt this good. I've never felt my body feel this way. And I just want to spread the joy of that. So I'll shut up, and you can ask more questions of things I'm not talking about.
No, and it's okay. I think you're doing a great job, by the way. I just want you to know that you're doing a great job. And I am actually on our inbox now, so we can get to your videos, because I watched them earlier and I was like, oh yes, that they just perfectly capture what's happening there. And it's so unique because, I mean, well, there's nothing like it. So, all right, let me see how I do this here. Okay, let me expand that screen. And y'all hold 1 second for me. Okay. And I think I hit it anyway. I'll come back to that. I'll back it up in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna come to Zoom.
And while she's doing that, I will say the person you're gonna see, and there's 6 different groups, muscle groups that have specific exercises. Within that, there are 7 different levels of proficiency. Every single client has their own individualized workout. that we build together based on their objectives, based on their physical capabilities. There is no end to the number of ways you can put these various exercises together to accomplish what the client is trying to accomplish. The 6 different levels are arch and curl. You saw me do that just briefly on the machine. Hamstrings, legs, upper body, abdominals, and upper body opening. So even as I talk about it, you get an idea of things are moving. Whoops, there we go. So I think we're going to be able to see.
Yeah.
The person who's doing that, I can see it down below. See if
Does it have sound attached, Barbara?
I'm sorry?
Does it have sound attached, or you're just going to describe?
Yeah, just describing. But can you make it, on my screen at least, it's a little box all the way down. So it's not a full screen.
What is it? You want me to take it a full screen?
There, yeah, there it is. Okay, that's a teacher who's doing arching curls. So you can see how fluidly she's moving her body and how the handles are supporting her movement. She's not muscling it. Her body is actually doing the movement. And when you see that bench, all of our benches can go up and down. We adjust the handles to fit the person's capabilities. And not using here, she's not using weights. This handles, you don't use weights, but the weights get adjusted for the individual's capabilities. So again, every workout is unique. So why don't we go on to the next one, whatever one you've got lined up there.
All right.
That's hamstrings. And again, you can see how she's moving. The movement is coming from her core while she's pushing down and extending her hamstrings and really opening up. That's what she's doing there is called bicycles. And everybody loves hamstrings. You can see that you're also getting really an opening in your lower back. When people do hamstrings, it's like, oh man, this feels really good. Now she is an advanced.
When you got a lot of low back pain like I do,
Yeah.
just to be able to have that support and be able to go fluidly through that movement and not worry about, okay, am I going to hit a bottom where it's going to hurt my back, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I will say this is pretty advanced movement, so you can see the fluidity of it. People do not start out here. This takes some work to get where she is. So why don't we go on to the next one?
All right.
This is abdominals, and you see there that she is not hinging up. Her back is in a curved motion up as well as down, though she's using weights to support, which helps you to be able to do that kind of movement. But it still is really hard. And it takes a while until most people don't know that they can access those lower belly movements. They don't know it's there. And this is also really good for pelvic support. So let's go on to.
I wanted to say something about that move. I was like, you know what? Would I be able to do a controlled, roll up like that? I don't know what you would call that abdominal crunch she's doing, but it's not a crunch.
It's just an abdominal exercise.
Well, when she lifted her leg up, I was like, okay, so you're just gonna lift your leg up too?
It takes.
Okay, you're just showing off now. You're just showing off, but I know that just from the little short experience I had, I'm excited about the possibility that I'll be able to do that again one day without excruciating lower back pain.
You will. We'll get you there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Now this is what she's doing here is legs. And as you see, all of these movements, when we talk about this is the absolute core, best core exercise, every single thing you do involves your abdominals. Your movements all initiate there. So here she's working on using her legs both in not just strengthening like your quads or your hamstrings or anything like that, but connecting the muscles in your legs and getting extension in your hips and moving to help you be able to move. So on to the next one.
All right.
This is upper body. And I was talking a little bit about being able to get into your back body. If you see here, she's really working the muscles underneath her scapulas, and underneath her, her scapulas there. But also using her core as part of the movement. And getting some spirals in there as well. All of that happens down in moving from your lower belly. And let me get here. So move on to the next one.
All right.
Now that is upper body opening. And the weights here are supporting the back opening, really opening up the sternum and kind of juicing up your shoulders. Now that is a move that not only it works on the muscles under your scapula, but also on your side body. There's a lot of side body movements that we do. And there is nothing in the way we interact in our daily moving through the world that gets into the muscles that run down the side of your body. So that's kind of a quick take a look, and that's little bitty snippets of the various different kinds of movements. So let's come back and people, if you have questions, I'd love to answer them.
I just wanted to say every different move that she did while I was screen sharing, I was like, I need that stretch in my life right now. I'm coming to see you either this week or next week, Miss Barbara. I missed that feeling. I was like, it's almost like my muscles went, hey, there you are. I'm like, hey, girl, what's going on? What's up, mama? We ain't seen you in 20 years. And now my body's like, don't forget about me. So I'm so looking forward to getting back in there and seeing your new studio. So real quick, I wanted to introduce Mr. Lance Adams. He was having some difficulty signing on to the Zoom. I wanted him to introduce himself. And Lance, you'll have to watch, the video once we're all wrapped up, and I'll shoot it over to you. And that way you can get acquainted with some of the other people or everyone else who was already on. So do you think, brother?
Okay, absolutely. Hey, everybody out there. My name is Lance Adams. I'm the owner of the Warrior Warehouse in Columbia, South Carolina. The Warrior Warehouse is a full service performance fitness, strength and conditioning facility, and also martial arts and fight facility. So we specialize in training, dealing with athletic training. My background, I was a 23-year police officer veteran, a Marine, an athlete. So everything at the Warrior Warehouse kind of is conducive to those things. So we train athletes from all different types of sports. We train military personnel, being that, I was a United States Marine as well. We also train just average everyday people that come to the facility looking to do something different. So the Warrior Warehouse is exactly what it says. It is a warehouse. When you come in, there's going to be no type of mistake whatsoever what you're there to do. And summertime is warm and the wintertime is hot. So there's a reason why I chose this facility is because, of course, with my background, a lot of time people come looking for something more than the average workout. And I'm sure everybody here just don't give the average workout. But my mentality is that a lot of people, they are kind of tired of the same old thing. They want to be inspired. They want to see those people on TV that are pushing hard. Now, many people may say, well, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to work out that hard, but actually people do. So we really deal with the mentality of people to let them know there is absolutely nothing that if you put your mind to, you can't do. So our workouts are they are very tenacious. They are hard, but they are progressive. So it's not like somebody just comes in and we just start having them flip ties and throw kettlebells and do all kind of different things. We start them at a progressive nature, and we start different people off the different areas depending on what their level is. And every day we challenge our people to do more and more and more and more without using the word can't, without using the word I'm not going to, because this equates not just in the gym, but also in life as well. I'm a fight trainer. So in the facility, we do everything. We do boxing, we do MMA, jiu-jitsu, judo, self-defense, all of that area. And then we also have our newly tactical division, which we do CWP classes. We do active shooter, firearms training, things for that nature. So all of this is pretty much encompassing all the stuff I've done in my career, but it all adds together because our motto is we are your safety, strength, and our safety and strength solution for your business and personal evolution. So my whole mindset as far as the Warrior Warehouse is to find the solution to the problems that people have. And we utilize things such as fitness. We utilize things such as self-defense and combat training and the tactical side to be able to keep people safe, secure, and build the mental tenacity. So I want to thank Cassandra for inviting me on. And thank goodness I was able to make on this one here. I think it was just user error. I know I'm a man, so I don't be knowing how to be flipping around stuff. And
I'm sure it's just the size of your fingers, Lance, because you're a big old guy.
Right.
I'm gonna buy you a stylus for Christmas.
Absolutely. And then on top of it, I was in there, so I'm thankful to be on here, Cassandra. Thank you, because today's my birthday, so I've been out celebrating all day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for sharing your birthday with us. We appreciate
Happy birthday.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely glad Cassandra invited me to this because it's always amazing to meet other fitness professionals, other health and wellness professionals. And one thing I feel that we do not do as a fitness and health and wellness community, a lot of times we feel that we're in direct competition with one another.
Yep.
And we're not. And exactly, we're not. We are all in the field of changing lives.
Yeah.
And just like this right here, many times I'm sure all of y'all have experienced the fact of that, you may try to team up or partner with somebody and somebody may seem a little bit kind of apprehensive or whatever case may be. But my mindset is that people are going to go to who they want to, and everybody specializes in stuff different. So why can't we just all come together and be the answer to everybody that's out there and being able to help? Like when I came on, I seen one of the young ladies here who was talking about things as far as the stretching and on the sides and things of that nature. And that's amazing because I have just really started getting into the fact about the range of motion and flexibility and things of that nature. For me, coming from a background where I was a power lifter, I was a strength competitor. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Longevity is in flexibility and range of motion and things of that nature, and it helps in injury prevention. So I've really gotten into that and studied up more on it. So I definitely appreciate everything that you're doing. And that's amazing being on here and being able to learn from everybody else here. Thank again, Cassandra, for allowing me to be on here.
Thank you. I appreciate you making time to hop on. I know it's your birthday, so I know asking for time on somebody's birthday. If it's my birthday, I'm gonna be like, do I love you that much? I don't know, but y'all can be assured anything I invite you to that I just absolutely know it's going to be more than worth your time. So thank you again for coming on, Lance. Yes,
Can
Ms.
I,
Bowles.
can I just say one thing to Lance? And I would
Oh, this
love
is
to
your night,
connect with
honey. This
you.
is your night.
I would love to connect you. People think about gyrotonic as only being for women. Definitely not. And only being like the only thing that you do. But we do a lot of cross training because, like you say, you're starting to find people, particularly as they are, aging, as things tighten up. In being able to just introduce people to this concept where
Right.
they take what you learn in a gyrotonic session and take it into something that you're doing. I don't know how long you were on, but really being aware of your back body and how that connects and how that affects your range of motion, and doing this stuff can really prevent rotator cuff injuries.
Right.
So I would love to do some individual time, get you in here to see the equipment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just recently, like I said, started doing stuff where going to, like I have somebody at my facility that does like range of motion type stuff. So I'm with her. Then I'm going to, the chiropractor and things of that nature, working on stuff, like you said, with my back, because, I realize how important that is. And I still lift very heavy. I'm still a professional fighter, things of that nature. But my whole thing is I want longevity. I'm 47 years old. And I'm still doing things that I did when I was 27, but I believe that I'm gonna live to be 207. So maybe with you, I can really help to achieve that and go from there. So I would absolutely love to connect with you and definitely refer some of my people at my facility to you as well.
Well, cool. We'll get together. Thank you. Really glad
Absolutely.
you could join.
Yeah, I am too. I really am. Sometimes when you experience something, you like, oh my God, I know exactly who this is perfect for. Lance, you were one of the people that came to mind for me, because when I went to Miss Barbara's studio and I had a demonstration with her,